Well, hi, YouTubers. I decided just to kick off straight away with the 60 Books of Isolation. Right, and it is Ruth Jones' Never Greener by the debut author, so the debut novel from the BAFTA-winning co-writer of Gavin and Stacey. Okay, so Ruth Jones wrote a book. Now, it's quite funny because I've watched Gavin and Stacey. I've seen Ruth Jones in many, many things. And I had a quick look on Goodreads, okay? And it's quite funny how a lot of the reviews I saw were very, very critical of this book because they expect it to be like Gavin and Stacey. Have the same kind of sharp, rapey wit that Gavin and Stacey does. And it kind of seemed to confuse Ruth Jones, the actor, with Ruth Jones, the writer, because Ruth Jones, she recently appeared in the One Show a couple of months ago. In real life, Ruth Jones is very articulate, very, very polite. She's very, very professional. It takes a lot of work to turn Nessa from Gavin and Stacey into that gorgeous woman you see. I've seen her, actually saw her quite an early production she did called Fat Friends. She is a Renaissance woman. She's a writer, actor, novelist, and people seem to kind of want more of a character written by Nessa than Ruth Jones, which I thought was quite interesting. I mean, it takes a lot of work to turn once again that gorgeous woman into Nessa. Okay, my feelings of Gavin and Stacey, I like parts of it. So anyway, so read the blurb of the back. Ruth Jones, Never Greener. Okay. Sometimes we have to wonder what might have been. Sometimes we get to find out. Okay. This is quite a long blurb, so I'm going to have to cut it down a bit. When Kate was 22, she had an intense and passionate affair with a married man, Callum, which ended in heartbreak. Kate thought she'd never get over it. 17 years later, life has moved on. Kate, now a successful actress, is living in London, married to Matt and mother to little Tallulah. Meanwhile, Callum and his wife Belinda are happy together, living in Edinburgh and watching their kids grow up. The past, it would seem, is well and truly behind them. But then Kate meets Callum again, and they are faced with a choice to walk away from each other or to find out what might have been. Second chances are a rare gift in life, but that doesn't mean they should be taken. This was a book about horrible people and the messy relationships, and I actually really enjoyed it. It takes a hell of a lot of guts to write a book like this as a debut novel. A lot of authors wouldn't have done it. This is the story of adultery as told from the point of view of the adulterers. And that's ballsy. It cuts back and forth in time quite a bit as well. So essentially, when Kate was 22 and a barmaid, she met Callum, who brother I think actually owned the bar, and it literally within like 10 minutes they're doing it. They're having sex, okay, back and forth, and they're just horrible people. Callum just can't resist Kate because she's young and fresh and new environment, while his wife Belinda gives birth to the babies. And Kate just loves. Kate's a narcissist. She's a sociopath. However, this is when now, if you will, okay, it kind of gives a hint of there's something more in Kate's psyche that's going on. This is when Kate, at stupid o'clock in the morning, okay, is on a treadmill, just trying to raise her issues, okay. This bit here. This bit here. This is when Matt is discussing, Matt the husband is discussing the gym. It was the first time he had any insight into Kate's determination to get what she wanted. But the more he got to know her, the more he saw this side of Kate's personality, and he grew to understand that despite her vulnerability, her insecurities, and his craving to be loved, she also had a ruthless ambition and an inner drive that could obliterate any obstacles in her way. He found himself respecting his wife for this. Okay, what he's respecting his wife for now is obviously not going to play off later. And the thing is, once again, horrible characters and the contradictions. Okay, like this is when, further along the line, Kate goes up to Edinburgh to talk at a school, and Cam's actually the headmaster. Okay, and this bit here, this bit here. This is when they're in the car together, meeting up for the first time. Okay, once again, jumping back and forth in time. There's something about the way he said it. Sorry, here we go. So let's start this again. What was I supposed to do? Tell the head it wasn't a good idea because 17 years ago I got you pregnant? Christ, that comes into play later. There was something about the way he said it, his blatant acknowledgement of this primal connection that existed between them. and before she knew it, she'd reached out and turned his face towards her, clumsily attempting to kiss him. He pulled back, shocked. What the hell are you doing? Sorry, I don't know. Okay? Straight after, 2 pages later, the Callum, without dropping his gaze, slowly reached out and pulled his right hand under the hemline of her skirt, touching her soft bare flesh of her inner thigh, and confidently parting her legs. Sorry, this is a bit graphic. She gasped, shut her eyes again, and tried steadying her voice. But when she spoke, the words came rushing out. Matt, this line's a bit crap. I'm going to get a flight, okay? I'll ring you as soon as I've got the details. Yeah. 15 minutes later, they've picked up where they left off. Arseholes, narcissists, and sociopaths. This is a gutsy first novel. See, what a lot of authors would have not done this for the first time. They would have told the entire narrative from the point of view of Belinda, the wronged wife. Yet she didn't. Now, a good example is The Lies and Loves of the She-Devil, whose point by Faye Weedon, which is a great book, and if I get a hold of that, I'll review that. Whose point of view is it across? It's Ruth, the wife. Most authors would have done this from the point of view of the wronged wife, not the actual adulterers. Now, I don't agree with adultery in a shape, way, or form. I absolutely love his characters, but I applaud Ruth Jones for that's such a gutsy move for a debut novel. A lot of them would not have had the guts to do that. So, as I said before, it jumps back in time between the before and after, the aftermath, the reveal, if you will. Okay, and it's a story about these people who should never got together in the first place. They get together, have a connection, and their relationship is so toxic. This is an example of just what a total sociopath Kate is. There you go. This is when they're hooking up, and Belinda, the wife, goes into labour, and this is the plan. This is Kate's plan. Okay. Okay, what you need to do is to go back to the house, to your house, just like you would have done if you hadn't been here. She spoke clearly, authoritatively. Where did you say you were going today? I don't know. She could barely hear him. Callum, pull yourself together. This is really important. He thought for a moment. DIY place over at Craigley. The kids are with my mum. Right. And the only way you're going to get through this is by lying, and I mean big lying. She went over to the room and to a stylish, messy dressing table, a jumble of scarves and little painted boxes, lipsticks and nail polish, and vinyl space, with half-burnt candles and incense sticks. Sorry. Sitting on one of the shelves was a scruff leather jewellery case, its contents lazily spilled out of the sides, silver chains and pearls tangled in little Spanish beads. She opened up a tiny drawer at the base and took out a small antique box. She opened the check inside, snapped it shut, and then handed it to Callum. She stared at it, confused. Listen to everything I say and you'll be alright. This is your story, okay? Right. Here you go. This is when after Belinda's given birth. The reason I was late, the line was well practiced, written by Kate. It's an eternity ring. She took the box and opened it, shocked and delighted, lifted the ring from its setting and put it on her third finger of her left hand. She completely believed his story of the trip in Brussels and Glasgow, of the purchase of this antique emerald ring, of the love he felt for her, of the fidelity that coursed through his veins. That ring actually belonged, as mentioned later, belonged to Kate's grandmother. Kate just handed over her grandmother's ring to Callum to give to his wife after they shagged. Without a care in the world. See what I mean by sociopathic tendencies? Sociopathic tendencies. Right. So, yeah. So obviously they get caught out, they get the reveal happens, and obviously Kate's like a award-winning actress. She's up for BAFTAs. Which is, hey, in tune with actually Ruth Jones herself, Gavin and Stacey. I mean, the bits where it described the being on set and the boredom and learning the lines, it actually felt very, very realistic. So obviously that's from Ruth Jones' own world. A lot of it I wondered, okay, was this kind of thinly veiled references to people she knows in her own life? I wouldn't know, okay? So, but there's also a subplot going on which got a little bit confusing because Matt's best friend, okay, Hetty, is in love, and he has been since uni, since this guy with Adam, okay? And it's a whole kind of, maybe it's for me, but I found Hetty a little bit pathetic. She's been hung up on this Adam, which she had this brief toxic relationship with when she was in uni, and she's so hung up on him. And it's just, it kind of switches to Hetty's narrative where it didn't really need to at all. I kind of get the whole kind of plot threads things, but the thing is, I suspect that this book was originally a script that she was working on before she turned it into a book, and maybe the script will be turned into a drama or a film. And I actually would love to see this played out, okay, as an ensemble drama. And when it came to Hetty, maybe it's just me, but I saw Ruth. Well, I don't know if I personally saw. I don't know who would play Hetty, but for Belinda, I actually did see Ruth Jones as Belinda because I think she would play that quite well and a little bit different. Here you go. And before they meet up again, Hetty basically gets herself tarted up. She loses weight. She buys makeup. Okay, and yeah, I'm actually not going to go into that. I'm actually not going to go into Hetty's subplot at all. That's what I just told you. But I did find Hetty a little bit pathetic. But at the same time, it does show how easy it is to get kind of hung up on someone for so long and not kind of move on with your life. And when she does, it's actually really, really bit. Here you go. This bit actually, I will read this out. Hetty had been in love with the idea of Adam all these years, but the reality of Adam was something quite different. She arrived home at a tiny Hammersmith flat, barefoot and broken-hearted. Not because of Adam, in fact, she was glad of it now. She closed the book on this chapter of her life and put him out of her mind for good. No, it was Matthew who had disturbed her the most. His revelation about Adam at Warwick was so completely out of the blue that it made her question everything. How could she think she knew Matt when all those years he had been carrying this huge secret? Did he and Adam used to laugh at her behind her back? And I'm not saying what that thing, but that's just an example. Okay? But for 17 years in hung with someone, it's just kind of liberating when she finally lets go. And the thing is, I'm also going to show how people, Callum and Kate are so toxic, even when they were together with this affair. Okay, it's never going to go anywhere. And they have, Belinda and Callum had 3 kids together. They're so incompatible in the real world. Kate is a glamour. She's walking glamour. Her looks are her asset. She lives in a multi-million-pound house. And Callum is just a simple, well, obviously hard-working, headmaster in a school in Edinburgh. And this bit here, okay, this bit here. This is when the couple were in London. Kate found his thriftiness enduring and frequently told him so. He said it was patronising him just because he was almost a pensioner. And she laughed. You're not ready for a scrap yet, McGregor. We've got 11 years out of you yet. Then she cracked him with an imaginary whip. Do you understand? I understand. They're trying to recapture something that never really existed. So, Ruth Jones Never Greener as the first book of the six books of isolation. I actually really enjoyed it. It's very rare for a first-time author to take the point of view of the adulterers. Ruth Jones knows how to turn a sentence. And no, I generally did enjoy it. It's different. I mean, people who expected it to be the same kind of biting wit as Nessa from Gavin and Stacey, I think kind of missing the point. This book, I think, reflects Ruth Jones more than any of the characters she's ever created. And it needs a hell of a good edit, and I personally would drop the Hetty subplot whatsoever. But I do personally believe, as I said before, this was a script before a book. And as a debut, it's not bad. So I look forward to see what she produces next. And I'm signing off here. And bye now.